Welcome to today's special explainer. We're actually going to bypass the usual pleasantries today because we are diving straight into a very real, very common, and honestly highly critical concern that so many parents face. We are looking at an incredibly insightful piece of source material from the SQSF Counseling Center that tackles the modern parental dilemma of investing in a child's mental well-being. It's a fascinating breakdown of values, psychology, and family dynamics, so let's get right into it.
And right here is the exact friction point. 1 hour of counseling for 1,500 taka? Why on earth is it so high? It is a completely valid question. If you're a parent, you have probably thought this, or at the very least, heard someone else say it. Look, money doesn't grow on trees. So when you're told that a single hour of talking is going to cost you 1,500 taka, the immediate reflexive response is, well, skepticism. You wonder, what exactly am I paying for here? Is this literally just a conversation? The source material we're analyzing today doesn't shy away from the skepticism at all. In fact, it leans right into it to challenge how we fundamentally view our own family's well-being.
All right, Section 1. Physical versus mental health. This comparison brilliantly illustrates the core of the issue. Think about it for a second. If your child spikes a sudden, scary high fever, or, God forbid, develops a heart or kidney issue, what happens? You don't even hesitate. You rush straight to the specialist, you pay for the blood tests, the scans, the doctor's fees, the medications, the whole shebang. You are instantly prepared to drop 15,000 to 20,000 taka or even more without a second thought, simply because it's a physical emergency. But conversely, when it comes to the very things that define your child's entire existence, their mind, their character, their behavior, their confidence, and ultimately their entire future, we suddenly pause, we hesitate, we ask, why does this cost so much? This highlights a massive societal blind spot. We are basically culturally conditioned to eagerly fund the physical body while we financially starve the mind that actually operates it.
Moving on to Section 2, the 7 aspects of SQSF.
What is really interesting here is how this completely shatters the illusion that counseling is just two people sitting on a couch having a casual chat. According to the source, an SQSF session is a highly structured, comprehensive analysis spanning 7 fundamental aspects across about 10 different headings. It starts with identifying the child's actual mindset and behavioral issues, but it doesn't stop there. Crucially, it analyzes the parent's duties and, yes, even the parent's mistakes and neglects. It evaluates how the husband and wife's relationship is directly impacting the child. It factors in the environment at their school and today's absolute biggest wildcard, the digital and social environment they are immersed in. Finally, it culminates in practical solutions and a concrete future action plan for the whole family. So the crucial point you have to understand is this. In a single session, you aren't just getting advice for the child, you are getting a simultaneous, integrated roadmap for the father, the mother, and the child all in one go.
Which brings us to Section 3, Doctor versus Counselor.
Consider a traditional medical doctor for a moment. They are incredibly vital, obviously, but their focus is usually highly specialized. They treat a specific, isolated physical problem, like a broken bone, a viral infection, or a specific organ. On the other hand, a skilled counselor, at least as outlined in this framework, is managing an entire interconnected human ecosystem. They literally have to juggle the biological realities of the brain, the emotional state of the mind, the incredibly complex web of family relationships, outward behavior, educational progress, and societal influences all at once. They're looking at how all these gears turn together to manage a future life. It is an immense, multidisciplinary task.
Let's look at Section 4, Investment for the Future.
When you actually sit down and consider the deep structural analysis we just looked at, that simultaneous guidance for 3 different family members and the parsing of complex psychological and environmental data, the true normal market value for this level of expertise is naturally upwards of 5,000 taka. That is the realistic baseline value of the comprehensive ecosystem management we were just talking about. However, the source material highlights that SQSF specifically provides a massive discount of 3,500 taka. You might be wondering, why do that? While the stated goal is accessibility, the aim is to ensure that more families can actually afford to get the right guidance exactly when they need it, rather than being priced out of these essential early interventions.
Which leaves us at that final figure, 1,500 taka. When we trace the logic from the very beginning of this explainer to right now, your perspective completely shifts, doesn't it? This isn't just some arbitrary inflated fee for a casual conversation anymore. It is a heavily subsidized, highly structured deep dive into your family's dynamic.
And that leads us perfectly to the central thesis of this entire analysis.
beautifully summarized in this quote from the text. It is not an expense, it is an investment for your child's future. This is the core of what you should take away today. An expense is just money gone. An investment is capital deployed for a future return. By spending this time and money right now, you are actively laying the groundwork to prevent the much more costly behavioral, emotional, and familial breakdowns that can happen years down the line.
Now, for those of you who want to take action based on this framework, you can reach the SQSF Counseling Center and Smart Library at 017644444731 or visit SQSF.org. The source makes a very clear point to mention that advanced scheduling is absolutely required. And honestly, that makes total sense, given the intensive, multi-layered nature of the sessions we just unpacked. You can't just walk in and expect a complete family systems analysis on the fly. I want to leave you with this final, really powerful thought drawn directly from the text. Are you ready to make a single correct decision today that will change your child's next 20 to 30 years? It's a pretty profound question. We spend so much time worrying about the immediate present, the fever today, the bill tomorrow, but how often do we actually have the opportunity to make a structured, guided decision that ripples out across the next 3 decades of our child's life? It really makes you reconsider what true value looks like. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep investing in what truly matters.